Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today is an absolutely beautiful Tuesday, but the drama we are tracking in Port Charles is darker, wilder, and more explosive than ever. Grab your coffee, settle into your favorite chair, and let's get right into the absolute madness we just witnessed on our screens today. So Jason Morgan has been sitting in WSB custody for a minute now, and honestly, we all thought he was just going to stare at a wall. Just Jason doing his stoic Jason thing while the WSB tries to pin the crystalline conspiracy on him. We knew he was taking the fall for Rocco Falconeri shooting Ross Cullum. We knew he was playing the long game to protect the kid. But the writers actually did something insane this week. They transferred Jason to this super secret, off-the-books WSB black site for enhanced interrogation. Cold, dark dripping water, the whole cliche underground prison vibe. And Jason is just taking it. He is sitting there in the shadows waiting for his moment. But then he looks across the hall through the thick steel bars of his cell, and there is another prisoner just sitting there in the absolute darkness. And guys, I literally screamed at my television. I am not even exaggerating. It was Morgan Corinthos. Morgan is alive. I repeat, Morgan Corinthos is alive. And I know there have been rumors for years. Fans on social media have been saying no body, no crime since that horrific car bomb went off all those years ago. But seeing it actually happen, seeing the look on Jason's face, when the light finally caught the guy's face. Steve Burton doesn't do big theatrical facial expressions, we all know that. But the microscopic widening of his eyes, the way his jaw just locked up, that was everything. Morgan has been locked up by the WSB this whole time. He didn't just survive the explosion. The WSB pulled his broken body out of the burning wreckage, and they kept him for years as a human test subject for their twisted projects. Let that sink in for a second. The WSB, which is supposed to be the good guys half the time, has been torturing Sonny's kid in a black site. What were they thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well for anyone involved? And Morgan tells Jason everything. He's standing there gripping the bars, looking so broken but so incredibly angry. The physical scars on him, it's brutal to look at, and you can see the exact moment Jason's entire demeanor changes. He goes from being this passive guy who is just waiting out his false imprisonment to full-on Terminator mode. Jason vows to bring Morgan home. He looks Morgan dead in the eye and swears he will tear through the entire WSB to do it. It was such a powerful, heavy scene, because Jason isn't just Sonny's enforcer anymore. He's looking at his nephew, the bloodline, the kid he watched grow up, the kid he tried to protect, and the kid he mourned alongside Sonny and Carly. This completely changes Jason's trajectory. He is no longer a man willing to suffer in silence. He is a warrior now. The bond between them in that dark cell forged in all this hatred for the WSB and hope for the future, it just set the stage for an epic breakout. But of course, they need a distraction to actually get out of a maximum security black site. And who provides it? Jen Sidwell. Because Sidwell is literally everywhere right now. Sidwell's heavily armed mercenaries launched this massive surprise attack on the WSB base. I don't even know how Sidwell found the place. Maybe Ezra Boyle tipped them off, but whatever. I'll allow it because it gave us the best sequence of the year. It's total chaos. Alarms are blaring. Red emergency lights are flashing. Guards are running everywhere shouting orders. And Jason seizes the exact perfect moment. He manages to break them out of the cells during a power fluctuation. And we get this incredible, visceral action movie sequence of Jason and Morgan fighting their way through these heavily guarded hallways. It felt like I was watching a summer blockbuster, not a daytime soap. Honestly, the stunt work was fantastic. They are dodging bullets, taking down guards with their bare hands. It's messy, it's frantic, it's exactly what we wanted. And then they hit a dead end, because of course they do. They burst through a set of heavy doors and find themselves trapped on this jagged cliffside overlooking the raging ocean. The WSB agents are closing in behind them. Sidwell's mercenaries are swarming the compound, and Jason just looks at Morgan. No words, just that classic Jason Morgan nod. And they jump. A massive life-or-death swan dive off a cliff into the freezing, violent water below. I was holding my breath. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. It was classic General Hospital high stakes, and right at that exact moment, the editing cuts back to Port Charles. It cuts to Sonny. Sonny is just standing in his office staring out the window, and he gets this look, this deep, paternal sixth sense. He feels a chill. He feels that something monumental is happening with the people he loves. Maurice Bernard plays those subtle, instinctual moments so perfectly. You could feel the invisible string pulling Sonny toward his son. So Jason and Morgan wash ashore hours later. They survive the jump, obviously, because they have plot armor, but they are battered. They are exhausted. They are coughing up seawater on some rocky beach. And now begins the hardest part of the entire ordeal. the journey back to America. They have to get fake IDs. They have to steal clothes. They have to stay completely off the grid. And Morgan is a very different person now. He is fully grown, he is covered in these physical and emotional scars, and he is practically vibrating with rage. He wants revenge. He wants to make the WSB pay for treating him like a lab rat. He wants to make everyone pay. And Jason has to constantly pull him back. Jason has to grab him by the shoulders and tell him to focus. Jason has to be the anchor, because if Morgan goes off the rails and draws attention to them, they are dead. Jack Brennan is out there running around Port Charles. Sidwell is out there trying to burn Sonny's life to the ground. If anyone catches wind that they are alive and moving, it's over. So Jason is basically playing bodyguard, father figure, and therapist all at once. And it's a great dynamic to watch. It's clunky sometimes, the dialogue, sometimes they repeat a word or phrase in a row like someone thinking out loud and not editing. But it completely works for the intense trauma they are portraying. You really feel the crushing weight of what Morgan has lost. And Jason's quiet, steady patience is the only thing keeping Morgan from exploding into a million pieces before they even cross the border. Then we get to the absolute best part of the week. Maybe the best part of the year, honestly. Jason and Morgan finally make it back to Port Charles. They sneak into Sonny's mansion in the dead of night, avoiding all the security cameras because Jason knows the blind spots. They go straight down to the wine cellar, and Sonny comes down a few minutes later. Sonny is just looking for a bottle of whatever to calm his nerves, completely unsuspecting. He is stressed about Sidwell. He is stressed about Danny trying to join the mob. He is just exhausted. And he turns around, and Jason is standing there in the dim light. And then Jason steps aside, and Morgan steps out of the shadows. Guys, I am getting emotional just typing this out right now. The reaction from Sonny was a literal masterclass in acting. A masterclass. Sonny goes from absolute horror, like he's seeing a ghost, to this visceral, overwhelming explosion of joy and grief all mixed together. He drops the wine bottle. It shatters all over the stone floor. He grabs Morgan. He is sobbing. Morgan is crying, burying his face in his dad's shoulder. Jason is just standing there, watching, being the silent, loyal guardian he has always been. It was so raw. It was so real. I think I rewound and watched that specific scene 4 times. Maurice Benard is absolutely going to win another Emmy for that exact moment. You could physically feel the years of crushing guilt just washing off of Sonny. He thought he failed his son. He thought his lifestyle killed his boy. And here he is, alive, breathing, holding him. But the joy doesn't last long, because Jason gives Sonny the harsh reality check. The WSB is going to come looking. They are going to tear Port Charles apart trying to find their missing, highly valuable test subject. And Sidwell is already burning the town down looking for revenge over Marco Rios. So Sonny realizes very quickly that he can't just announce to the world that Morgan is alive. He can't throw a massive welcome home party at the Metro Court. He has to hide him. And not just hide him, but bury him deep. So Sonny makes the immediate call to turn the secret bunker under the mansion into a heavily fortified fortress. We haven't seen that bunker used properly in a while, but Sonny starts outfitting it immediately, bringing in food, medical supplies, setting up encrypted security feeds. It's basically a high-tech panic room on steroids now. But let's be real, it's still a cage. And Morgan just spent years locked inside a cage, so you instantly know this is going to be a massive problem. Morgan is pacing the floor. He's going stir-crazy within hours. The suffocating claustrophobia of this hidden life is already getting to him, and Jason is stuck down there with him, trying to keep him calm, trying to keep him from losing his mind all over again while Sonny figures out a master plan. And then comes the worst part. The most heartbreaking, incredibly frustrating part of this entire storyline. Sonny has to make a choice about Carly. Carly, who mourned Morgan just as hard, if not harder than Sonny did. Carly, who is currently losing her absolute mind over Jason being gone and is dealing with Jack Brennan and Valentine Cassadine. Sonny stands at the top of the cellar stairs looking at the hidden door, and he has to decide. Does he tell her? Does he bring her down here and let her hold her son? Or does he lie to her to keep her safe? And because this is Sonny Corinthos, and because the writers absolutely love making these two suffer, he chooses to lie. He justifies it, of course. He always does. He says Carly is too emotional right now. If she knows Morgan is alive, she'll give it away. The WSB agents will see it on her face. Brennan, who is literally sleeping in her bed, will figure it out. Valentine will figure it out. Carly is already in this massive, messy web trying to cover up Danny and Charlotte's car crash. She has way too much going on. But let's be real. Lying to Carly about her dead son being alive, that is the ultimate betrayal. When she finds out, and she will absolutely find out, because this is a soap opera and secrets never stay buried. It is going to destroy them. It will completely fracture whatever is left of their fragile relationship. I honestly wanted to throw my remote at the screen. How many times are we going to do this exact same dance? Sonny keeping massive life-altering secrets from Carly for her protection. It never works. It literally never works out the way he plans. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I mean, the WSB is a massive global threat, and Morgan is a walking target. But Carly is a fierce fighter. She would protect that bunker with her life. She would stand outside that door with a shotgun if she had to. Instead, Sonny is going to walk around acting weird, and Carly is going to get suspicious. She's already suspicious of everyone right now. Jocelyn is already digging into everything and confronting people. It's a ticking time bomb waiting to explode in Sonny's face. And what about Morgan's mental state? He wants his mother, he wants his life back, but he's also so deeply damaged. The WSB really messed him up. I wonder what kind of experiments they were actually doing on him all those years. Was it related to the Crystalline Project? Was it some kind of mind control? Was it purely medical torture? We don't know the full details yet. But the trauma is so deep and so raw. Morgan is just a raw nerve walking around in a concrete room. And Jason is probably the only person on Earth who truly understands what it's like to have your entire life stolen and your brain messed with by a traumatic event. Remember Jason's own brain injury from the car crash with AJ. It fundamentally changed him forever. That's exactly why Jason is the perfect person to be down there in the dark with him. Jason understands the blinding rage. He understands the terrifying feeling of waking up and not being the person everyone expects you to be. Jason and Morgan are going to bond so much in that bunker. But it's going to be so incredibly tense. Because Morgan wants blood. Morgan wants to go up those stairs, walk into the daylight, and start shooting WSB agents. And Jason has to be the enforcer, the guard dog keeping Morgan locked away for his own good. It's tragic, really. Jason escaped one prison just to lock himself in another one to protect his family. And think about Danny. Danny Morgan is out here running around Port Charles, actively trying to join Sonny's mob because he thinks it's the only way to save Jason from the WSB. Danny thinks Jason is gone. Sonny knows Jason is sitting right under his feet in the bunker, but he can't tell Danny either. It's so messed up. Danny's grieving and acting out, getting into car crashes with Charlotte, and Jason is just feet away. Unable to reach out to his own son because of the WSB threat, the layers of tragedy here are just chef's kiss. The writers are weaving all these threads together perfectly. If you zoom out and look at the bigger pattern here, the show is firing on all cylinders right now. We have the Route 91 car crash drama with Brooke, Lynn, and Jordan. We have Sidwell terrorizing Laura and Ezra. We have Willow losing her absolute mind over Jacinda and threatening Michael. And now we have this massive, sprawling WSB conspiracy with Morgan Corinthos at the center of it. It feels like old school GH. It feels genuinely dangerous. It feels like anyone could die at any moment, or in Morgan's case, come back from the dead at any moment to shake the entire foundation of Port Charles. I just hope the pacing holds up. Sometimes they give us these huge, earth-shattering reveals and then leave the characters sitting in a basement for 6 months talking in circles. Please, writers, do not leave Jason and Morgan in that bunker for 6 months. Let the story breathe, but let it move forward. We need to see Carly's reaction before the end of the year, okay? We need to see Morgan confront Jack Brennan face to face. We need to see Sonny unleash his absolute wrath on the WSB for what they did to his boy. So yeah, I am tired. I have been staring at this screen trying to process all of this, and my brain is completely fried. But I am so invested. I haven't cared this much about a storyline in a very long time. They actually pulled it off. Morgan Corinthos is back, and Port Charles is never ever going to be the same.